Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, dear viewers, we are blessed to be with guests in what today is so special for us that we come again with a point. And this program intends to uplift the livelihoods of our countrymen and women, and in various dimensions. Tonight, we have a topic which is industrial and technology advancement policy. Is it the answer to unemployment today in Uganda? We are blessed to be our good guests here. On the right, we have Dr. Kenneth Tindimwebwa. You are most welcome, Dr. Kenneth Tindimwebwa. Those who don't know Dr. Kenneth Tindimwebwa, this is a head of Department of Economics at Chambogo University. And we are blessed to benefit from the dimension of knowledge, especially in the area of research and basically with the practice. We are blessed as a country to have you, Dr. Kenneth. And tonight, we hope both our countrymen and women, the viewers in this program, we will be able to share knowledge in that regard. Honorable Banyenzach Henry, you're welcome once again in this program. We enjoyed your participation in the previous program of The Point, and you are once again welcome. Those who also want to remember, you have not yet forgotten, Honorable Banyenzach Henry, I will always refer him, the great Kigezi man. And he's a former member of parliament of Rwanda West and a former minister of state in the office of the president for economic monitoring. He has dimensional experience in various ways, and of which one is interesting here. I mentioned the board advisor East Africa, American Chamber of Commerce. We would like to bring our knowledge and experience in our sharing through this program tonight. It shouldn't stop only the commerce, which we would like also to hear that advisory knowledge. We will be blessed to hear a lot from there. And industry and technology, it is the way to go.
There is another one which I like most.
Yes, sir.
Founding General Secretary.
Founding General Secretary.
Of the African Parliamentary Network on the Sustainable Development Goals.
Thank you so much.
That is even
Thank you so much. I'm going to give you the opportunity to introduce yourselves, and then we'll go back, switch on to the program, the internal insight discussion of what we need to be discussing tonight. Doctor, you're welcome. You can introduce yourself to the viewers. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joseph. I'm Dr. Kenneth Tindimwebwa. I'm a lecturer at Chambogo University and head of Department of Economics. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much. Looking forward to sharing the views with you.
You're welcome once again.
Thank you very much, Dr. My brother.
Yes, sir.
You had already introduced me, but once again, Banyenzach Henry, currently deployed at Operation Rules Creation as a director, former minister.
Thank you.
Economic monitoring.
Thank you.
Founding General Secretary of the Parliamentary Network on Sustainable Development Goals.
Thank you.
Advisor Board.
Thank you.
East African Chamber of Commerce. Based at Dallas, Texas, the United States of America.
Thank you.
And many more others.
Thank you.
Which I did, especially I did a great work with the World Bank.
Thank you.
At the time when I was in Parliament.
Thank you.
For a period of 15 years.
Yes, sir. Dear viewers, tonight as I give the brief introduction of what we intend to discuss, it is clearly understood to most of us as Ugandans and across the globe, especially on the African continent, that unemployment remains a challenge. And we would like to go beyond only just a mere talk, but yet share experience on how best in our discussion we expect to be delivering a message which can go as far as deeper to the state and also to the citizens, so that our participation in this program can add value to our day-to-day economic livelihood. I'd like to share with you some few listed mention of statistics concerning Uganda to know where we are. By 2019, 68 Ugandan homestates were at a level of subsistence subsistence, living in a lifestyle of subsistence, economic livelihoods, where the farmers can only go for agriculture, undertake agricultural activities for purposes of only food for mouth. But the target of the government is transform the 68% that I've mentioned of Ugandan homesteads from subsistence to market-oriented production. In that regard, that's why we expect to begin looking at the lives of the people joining in the economic chain of production. And production cannot occur without the workforce participating in the productive activities. For reference, Uganda, our economic base still is hinged on agro-based economy. And our target, as per the National Development Plan, there was the first one, the second, and the current one, still remains with the focus to turn around the opportunities of Uganda from being a subsistence economy to a middle-income economy, where some of the key factors that we cannot go without mentioning, we expect our agro-based economy to have the element of industrial agro-based economy, agro-industrial economy. Yet, we still need a lot, which is again required in the area of technology, remembering our nature of education and our day-to-day activities, whether in a trade, we come to a realization that it is important to embrace technology. Technology is necessary in our day-to-day communication. One can do business and at the same time, just you are at home. You are in Chibuk somewhere there, but you are just transacting business in Kampala. We also look at one of the ways how we can solve the unemployment problem. Dear viewers and guests, I take the honor and the opportunity at this very momentous epoch to welcome the views of our Dr. Kenneth Tindimweba. You're welcome, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joseph, for the introduction, and my friend, Honorable Henry Banyenzachi.
My pleasure.
I'm happy to be part of this discussion, whose title is Industry and Technology Advancement Policy, the answer to the unemployment in Uganda. And the answer, in my view, is yes. But how do we get there? Let's begin with some historical perspective. Since independence from 1962, Uganda went through a period of economic, social, and political transformation. We have seen the country transform from one level to another, and a lot has been done. Despite the hurdles that the country has gone through, it has been able to make tremendous strides and progresses through the area of industry, creating jobs, of course, coupled with a number of challenges which have hindered the agricultural sector, the industrial sector, in order to achieve its policy goals. Sorry. Despite that, Uganda has moved. Of course, we still have the challenge of unemployment. We have the majority of the young people out there, the youth who are not employed, and they are struggling to make a living. However, the question of unemployment, of course, there are general issues which whose repercussions are from within the country, but there are also other forces which cause unemployment and have been influenced by forces outside the country. But Uganda is on the right path, and it has made some progresses. I want to remind the viewers that a lot has been done, a lot needs to be done. Since the 1990s, the role of the government and other stakeholders have all been aimed at building an independent and integrated and self-sustaining economy. The country has tried to restore security and also work on economic reconstruction because of the destructions which were made in the previous years, especially in the 70s and the early 80s. Mm-hmm. Since then, efforts have been made to restore the economy, to maintain peace and security, and also to achieve macroeconomic stability. Of course, that does not necessarily mean that all has been smooth, but government has tried, of course, also borrowing relief from other countries, also from international financial bodies like the World Bank and the IMF. So a lot has been done, but of course, there are also hindrances which the country is striving to achieve for the years ahead. Uganda has made, there are so many programs which government has put in place, and work is ongoing, and we believe that if we maintain whatever is happening, and of course also trying to minimize on the loopholes and the problems of corruption and so forth, then we hope that Uganda will not remain the same. In the near future, it will move from where it is to the middle income country.
Dr. Kenneth, the overview and the background, the stock of background given, it reminds us a lot that of where you were. Indeed, a number of initiatives by the government has been proposed, and with the focus, even Honorable Banyazachi is my witness, as we are aware of the manifesto of the NRM, which talks about job creation. And with these initiatives, whereas a lot has been attended to in a way to create an environment, we usually call it in our usual expression of ideas, an enabling environment, which could help us maybe to operate. We are now over around the period between 1986, then you were talking about the recovery plan, but we are no longer now lamenting, we are beyond that post-recovery period. Our target was that by now, most of all Ugandans are supposed to be earning 20. I remember I was part of the implementation of that program, 20 million per acre. That was the dream of the government, or the vision of the government, the target 2006, including those who are coming from the university, including those who didn't go to the university or to attain any certificate, because wealth accumulation, much as it is dependent upon human capital development, but it again goes back to the change of the mindset, how our population, whether educated or not educated, formal or informal education, how they can be employed. But we continue to see the existence of this challenge. Dr. Kenneth, what do you think that there is a missing link between what the government has promised citizens to reduce unemployment? The target of the NRM government, especially through the NRM manifesto, which was well presented, 2016, was to create jobs over 3 million every month, every year, so that we can be able to give our young youth population jobs. What is likely to be an economic mismatch that the state, which is the regulator, and again, which makes, in this case, a government, which makes an agreement with the citizen that we are going to solve this problem. What seems to be a mismatch, and how can we progress forward?
What went wrong?
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joseph. Uganda has put in place measures to see that the industrial strategy works, and the policy frameworks for the country are so good. But there is something that went wrong. In academics, we call it a statement of the problem. There is something that is not known. Something has been done, but again, we have not achieved what we should have achieved. So what went wrong? Mm-hmm. That is the question.
Exactly.
Yeah, so of course, government has done its best, but who is government? Government is me and you. People, when they talk of government, people only look at the president, the MPs like these ones, the minister, the what, but implementation of a government program, when the government is trying to implement a program, the grassroots person must own this program right from the start. So that if they are saying like the NADS program, which has been on the rollout, people should participate. I have seen cases where people are given projects, issues come and they are not worked on. They have not worked on them.
Let me bring it so clear to you. We want to be open to the viewers. We have those who formulate policies, Honorable was part of the policy formulators and implementers, policy makers as a legislature, and again was overseeing to see whether the policies have been implemented. In that way, according to our chain, when I go to refer to the description of government according to Professor Woodrow Wilson, that the former president of USA, the late, we look at those who enforce laws and then those who are governed, because doctor, you have brought an expression of how things work, but yet you want to go to the realistic point of view. There are those who are in authority, and those who obtain a mandate, especially in democracies, in electoral democratic countries. Those who get the mandate and then they govern those who are the citizens. I'm just trying to recall the concept of policy making. And then there are those who also are part of the system of policy making, but for them they are not the real government, they are not the enforcers of the policy. And in your view, doctor, we are interested now to look at those who formulate policies, and in this case with a good vision, because we are all waiting, and I believe God will help us, we shall reach there.
They are the governors and the governed.
Governors and the governed. Governors and the governed. So we hope that we shall reach.
We don't mix them.
Exactly. So now we want to look at what is the challenge. The government come up with macroeconomic policies. Then it takes us to what it describes according to the National Development Plan, small scale industries and those which are the macro scale industries. Then we have the issue of investors. There's a policy that governs them. All that is the advancement we are talking about. But now, what has the government failed to do to boost the industrial base of this country? I'm talking of the government of Uganda, so that we can no longer go to run to get jobs from China, from Abu Dhabi, from Iraq, and so forth. Exporting our citizens. So we would like to look into this.
You know, these ministers, these policymakers of ours up there, they make good policies. Mm-hmm. But when it goes to the grassroots, policies are made from up, but when it comes to the grassroots level, implementation becomes a problem. Where is the gap? When they are making policies, they should begin from the grassroots level. Mm-hmm. What do people want? Mm-hmm. For example, a government project can come, and they are saying, we are providing chicken. We want everybody to rear chicken. But there are those who may want to rear something else, or not even to participate in agriculture, but they are doing something different. Mm-hmm. So when a project comes, whether government or even by an NGO or even foreign funded, it should come, it should be, people should be consulted to know what they want to participate in, because in these things, the issue of money may not necessarily be the first point. But when somebody is doing an economic activity out of passion, then production, this person improves on production, then maybe the returns can be generated by the end of the period. So that the big point is to ensure that people are involved, so that by the time a project comes, and then it could be beneficial, and then people can welcome it in good faith, and the program continues.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kenneth. Be ready. There will be a question which will be coming back to you as we receive Honorable Banyezachi. Which industrial base, the nature of industry you want to see your country as an economist, and the technology advancement that you wish to see Uganda going to. We are tired always to refer that you see China, you see Russia. What have we failed to do? Malaysia? No. We must now build our own. Thank you. Welcome, Honorable, please. It's a pleasure to have you once again.
Thank you very much. I must declare my interest first. Mm-hmm. Working for Operation Wealth Creation Office of the President.
Working for Operation Creation Wealth.
Office of the President.
Yes, sir.
I'm here in my own right. Thank you. So you will not corner me to defend the government.
No problem.
I will say it as it is, mm-hmm, and as I see it.
Yes, please.
What went wrong? Mm-hmm. Of course, doctor is telling us, I think there is a problem. Mm-hmm. First of all, of course, there is a problem of the implementation gaps. And this problem that we have, even the government acknowledges them. I don't want to acknowledge the government. I don't want to say that the government includes that that downtrodden people in Rwanda, in Terego, in Rira. When we talk about government, we are talking about the state machinery.
Exactly.
That's how we understand it.
Exactly.
So the government must implement this. It must implement its policies to the dot. The implementation of the policies, we cannot leave the implementation of the policies to the people, to the governed. There are those who are governed and there are we who govern. So as such, we must do what we are supposed to do. When we talk about neighboring environment, have we boosted, have we encouraged private sector development of the locals?
The private sector.
Is there local content? Are we encouraging Ugandans to be investors in their own country, or are we encouraging foreigners? We have made Uganda, and that's why some have gone wrong, and industries have not translated into jobs. We have made Uganda to be an assembling plant of goods manufactured in China, such that goods come from China when they are knocked down, and here it's only assembling. You have an assembling plant of motorcycle, but how many are being employed? It's only putting parts together. Even shoes, they call them what? Nigina. You bring nigina, you bring parts differently from China. You reach here, you just assemble. We have seen so many warehouses, call them industries, mushrooming everywhere. But in essence, those warehouses are finished goods for the Chinese. And they come with tax incentives.
Honorable, I want to pose
So
a comment to you.
When you say that, as a country, we need to add value on our own raw materials.
Honorable, I want
We
to...
need to industrialize our coffee sector.
Yes, please.
We need to industrialize our tea sector. We need to industrialize our cocoa sector so that we produce chocolate, not export cocoa beans. So that we export coffee, packed coffee, not coffee beans. Are we together?
We are together.
So for us to have an industrialization policy that will create jobs is to have value addition industries, which are agro-based. And actually, we had tried in the OWC to come up with agro-industrialization, economic development, the agro-industrialization at the local level, where, say, if you go to Kigezi, what is produced in Kigezi? Industrialize it. What is produced in Arua? Make industries there. What is in Uganda? Make coffee.
How far have we reached? Ugandans are interested to hear that. We have 21 sub-regions, and that's a good plan, where we could find that each sub-region is having like two industries.
The plan is good, but we must invest where mouth is. How much have we invested into agro-industrialization as a nation? If we look at our the industry sector, at what rate is our industry sector growing? So we must put more money. We must capitalize UDB, Uganda Development Bank, so that Uganda Development Bank offers affordable and cheap capital for the Ugandans who want to invest in their agriculture.
I could be happy if
we must capitalize Uganda Development Corporation for state interventions, such that when the locals cannot manage, let's say in Ibundibudu, when you say you want to have a chocolate industry in Ibundibudu, and the Bramba Cooperative Union, you invest in, put in money as a state, so that you build their capacity to have very additional on cocoa. UDC, Uganda Development Corporation, and then you nurture the local industries to take over, so that when we are exporting, we export finished goods. What are we exporting to Europe? What are we exporting to America? Russia, which is in Asia, we're exporting coffee beans. We're exporting cocoa to European community. No value added at all.
Value addition. So you've talked about value addition, and while you were discussing, a lot was coming.
We're exporting cotton.
A lot was coming to my mind.
We
And
should be exporting cloth.
yes, I hear you. And Dr. Kenneth had talked about the concept of economic recovery.
Yes.
And Honorable Banyizachi is telling us the broad plan of the government, and of which I've heard it not the first time, referring to value addition. But I'm much more interested, before you take an extra mile into development of where we want, remember our topic, we said advancement.
Yes.
You cannot advance if you are not able to recover what you've lost. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
You cannot advance if you are not in a position to recover back what you've lost.
Wait a minute. When Vietnam became the leading producer and exporter of coffee, was it in coffee before? No.
The point I'm driving at.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
It was not in coffee before. It started the enterprise of coffee and it took over. It is ahead of Uganda. It is ahead of those countries that were producing coffee.
Thank you.
It did not have to recover what it had lost. Nothing.
Thank you.
When you go to Singapore, the Asian tigers, did they have to recover what they had lost?
Wait for a minute.
They went on the right.
Honorable, wait for a minute for the benefit of viewers. The point I'm driving at, if Uganda, we know that our base and where we had reached, you've referred to Singapore, you've referred to Malaysia.
And Vietnam.
And Vietnam. By 1962, and thereafter, we were having booming industrial growth at that level. We had textile industry at Ginger, and that was basing on a strong agro-economic base, which we refer as a cash crop economy, and which was facilitating the industrial growth in that capacity, providing raw materials. But we register a serious decline, and of which up to now, I believe if we maintain the pace, and this is the challenge I give to our dear government, that recovering back our export base of textile products would have done better for us, other than to remain now hitting here and there, and we maintain exporting what we call second-hand clothes. That's a recovery that I could desire to hear from my discuss and talking about. We also am able to recall copper smelting industry that was in here, Kasese. Up to now, it's not yet realized and known why have we failed to recover back that industry, because before you add one, before you add three, you are supposed to have the two, and you add one, can have three. So it remains a challenge to us, and we are discussing not to criticize the government, but to see a point of view that can help us to recover back our industrial base. Then finally, my friend here, Honorable Banyizachi, from the area where you come from, Rwanda, they are very much rich in iron ore. But up to today, after 30 years of where we are talking about our NRM government, we are not seeing an industry. I know there is a plan, which I appreciate for that, but it's taking long. Some countries are not moving at our space, yet we need employment. In 2 minutes or 3 minutes, you may have a comment, and after that, when we go for the break, we'll continue with that. What has gone wrong and able to have this recovery?
You are telling me that we first recover what we lost.
Yes, we lost.
In 1962, when we go into 1962, we are now into a 19 economy, into post-revolution economy. In this first kind of economy that we are talking about, is a based on computerization. What do you call it? This first revolution of industrialization. Doctor, you can help me on this. For you to say as we go back, it's like now we have to leap in the air. We have to take a leap in the air, like an eagle, and sail in the storm. So if we want to go the pre-industrial level that we were then, at this time, then we shall...
No, we had achieved something.
We shall never take on.
Honorable, we don't want to lose what we had achieved.
Now is fast forward, gain the pace at which the world is on, and go into this forced industrialization, join the forced industrialization agenda. And for us to do this is to use IT.
That was a welcome idea. Yes.
Because now you cannot use what was being used then in 1962. You will be definitely left behind. And for us to do this is to catch up very fast and make a meaningful investment into the industrial technology that is appropriate. And to do this, you have the academicians, we have the diaspora, who can even bring those skills that they have attained there, but not us having what you have said, exporting house girls and house boys into the Asian economies. But bring back our diaspora to invest back here, to bring the appropriate technology, the skills that they have acquired here, and support them in order to build the local industries and the local industrialization. Not supporting, not to have a preference on, say, the Chinese industries, and you neglect your own who have the ideas.
That's why I was still talking about that we need to be practical and don't miss what we call the opportunities. Our discussion a bit is referring to the tool we are using, almost the SAMRT, the strength we have and yet the weaknesses we appreciate and be able to move forward. So it will be of a great advantage for the state, for the government, and also the viewers to realize that we have the potential, but the realization of our potential to support our industrial base and our technology advancement as per the existing policy is lacking. It needs the attention of the government. Using this phone and your tablet somewhere, as you may intend to help our youth to get employment, may I could be of this advice, dear the economist, that it could be better to what we call remove some of the taxes, and where some yes, there are some of the taxes in like this post-COVID-19 era, where we could want to match with the current challenge and support our youth over there, because the youth are occupying a bigger space of the unemployed. We'll continue from there in the next few minutes, but before we go forward, if you may be having something to add on.
I want to say something.
Dr. Kenneth.
Uganda depends on agriculture, and the majority of the people derive their livelihoods from the sector. So about maybe 10% are in the service sector, and less than 20% are in industry. So we need to look at this sector which employs the majority, so that whatever is being produced can be put in the industry, so that it is an output from agriculture, but also an input to the what? To the industry. If our youth as young people, and even any other person, they are producing this agricultural output, and its demand is available, it would mean that, of course, they're going to generate incomes, increase production through agro-processing, increase value, and then make more incomes and make more employment. For example, when you look at the price of raw coffee,
1 minute as you
raw
conclude.
coffee and the output of the processed coffee, the price is extremely different.
So that's what we look at. We'll be coming back, dear viewers, in the next hour of a discussion. And Honorable, don't forget, I will be a bit not asking you to analyze and look at how many industries are we having in Uganda, and maybe we establish the statistics to know maybe our youth over there, how many are being employed, and again, what has been the effect to our technologies. Thank you. See you again in the next hour.